Hi, welcome to My Court Coach. I'm Jaylyn, and I'll be your instructor as we talk about Form DV-700, Request to Renew Restraining Order. So we're going to write the name of the protected person, the lawyer if you have one, the address. If you don't have a confidential address, then you need to write a mailing address, or if you're comfortable writing a residential address, you can. You can leave out the telephone, email, fax number if you wanted to, the name of the restrained person, and then the information that's listed on your restraining order after hearing. So you have a little bit of context as to why we use this form. So you've already had your temporary restraining order has been granted, your permanent restraining order has been granted, and permanent meaning that it's lasting anywhere from the day that you asked for a more permanent restraining order to 5 years from that date. And now your restraining order is coming up to be expired. It's been, 4 years and 6 months. And so now you want to renew your restraining order. This is a good time to fill out this form. There are statutory deadlines as to when you can renew your restraining order. So the earlier that you do it, the better. And you're going to ask the court to renew the restraining order, and you're going to attach a copy of that restraining order. You're going to tell the court when that order ends and how many times you've renewed it before. And then that you want the order to be renewed either another 5 years or 4 or 5 years, or permanently. And when we say permanent, it is permanent. So you're going to ask the court to renew the order because, and you have to explain why you're afraid of abuse in the future. So the person in 2 has violated the order, and so you're going to tell the court how this person violated the current restraining order. This is why you need to renew it. They're not even taking the current one seriously, and we need it to stay in place because they are not even following the current restraining order, and they're still intimidating me. They're still instilling some sort of fear in me, and I need this restraining order after hearing to remain in place for another 5 years or permanently. And then you have to explain to the court why you're afraid. So you're afraid that the person will abuse you in the future because, and maybe they sent you a text message, or maybe you saw them cross the street in front of your house and, it was less than 100 yards away and you saw them do some sort of gesture. Those sort of facts can help bolster your arguments as to why you need a restraining order. And it also shows, why you're afraid of abuse and abuse in the future. And then anything else that you want to explain to the court as to why you should have the restraining order. Now, something does not necessarily need to happen in order for you to renew the restraining order, and I think it just kind of depends on the severity of your facts at the time that you had the restraining order granted, but the court will more likely than not grant you a renewal of your restraining order, which is very difficult to get, by the way, but they would give it to you, they'd grant it to you if you can show a reasonable fear. So it has to be reasonable, and there has to be a violation of the current court order now. And if you lack either one of those or both of those, then the court is going to have a very difficult time saying yes or granting you your renewal to the restraining order. And if you need more space to explain why you need the renewal, you can always attach MC025 and type in DV-700 and just explain why you do need the renewal. The more specific you are, the better. Identifying dates and times as to what happened and when. If you have any witnesses, all of that, that would be the best in order for you to try and prevail on a renewal of a restraining order. You're going to sign it under penalty of perjury. You're going to date it, print it, sign it. I hope that you found this helpful, and best of luck.